our special meeting, November 5th, 2018. Be a public hearing on the local law to override the tax levy limit and a public hearing on the 2019 preliminary budget. There will be one addition, one item, a highway department proposal that Dave Train asked if we would approve for tonight. So it's the only other item that will be on for tonight. So I ask everybody to stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I didn't get the sign-in sheet, and we're a small audience. Would anybody like to speak in regards to the public hearing on the local law to override the tax levy limit?
Can I just speak from here, Mr. Supervisor?
Yeah, just,
Because I'm manning this.
yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just have like 5 questions with that. This law establishes limits on the annual growth for property taxes. And in the announcement, it says you're going to override the 2%. Mr. Joe had a question in the paper that actually I had a question also. And could you please tell me how much over the 2% there will be for taxing property owners in 2019? How much over the 2%?
Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, you want me to give you all 5?
Yeah.
Okay. With regards to that percentage, could you tell how much in dollars an individual property owner will be paying in 2019? This way I can do my budget. Will every property owner in Lewiston be paying a property tax in 2019? In the preliminary budget, under the amount to be raised by taxes, there is a figure of $616,170. But there's no figure in the B fund. In the past budgets, there's always been a figure in the B fund. Because there's no figure in the B fund, does this mean that only town residents will have their property taxed in 2019? And the final question is, on page 9 of the budget, the tax levy comparison under rate of percentage change, could you explain what the 12.9% stands for? If you want, I'll repeat the question if you...
I think we got them all. Okay. Thank you very much. Before we move on, Mrs. Mager, would you like to speak since you're the only other person in the room?
Okay, I sure will, but...
Well, you don't have to.
No, I know. You know, I'm on Social Security, and I don't get anything extra. The 2% that we're getting for Social Security is going back into medical bills. So, you know, I don't know where you guys think that this money's coming up from. And I understand you have a budget, but gee whiz, think about us.
Okay. With that, I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing on the local law to override the tax levy.
I'm not going to... Am I going to get... Oh,
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Before we move on to the public hearing with the preliminary budget, does anybody want to address Mrs. Glasgow's comments? I know.
I would prefer if Jackie and Marty could answer them, because they will be more accurate with the numbers than I will be without knowing those questions ahead of time.
Either one, if you want to work on it together, if you want to.
Jackie's prepared.
Okay.
As far as the percentage of going over the tax cap, it's hard to get a one figure because it really depends upon where you're located. Because all of the districts, the general tax and all the special districts have different changes. Some are going up, some are going down.
So give me the figure, the overall budget, what we talked about today, is 13%.
13%?
Right. It's the overall budget. That doesn't mean everybody's going to be 13%.
And it sounds so big because our tax is so small.
So that would explain that 12.9.
Yes. But basically, and I think Marty had talked to you, I don't know if Jackie would know, it's $50 per $90,000 of assessed value.
Well, it depends, because the special, it depends on where you're located, because if you're in SS3, the SS3 went down, SS2 go, you know, it's like, we have to know what your property is. All the information you need to figure out what your taxes are in the budget, because it tells you what per $1,000 that a tax assessment is going to be. So
Can you
if you know what
explain why
your
SS3 is going down?
various things, they're paying off debt as they go. They've always been taxed very high because they have a lot of debt for a very small group of people. So when they have declines, the other thing to remember about percentage increases, if you've got a $10 budget, a $5 increase is a 50%.
I understand.
If you've got a $100 budget, a $5 increase is only 5%. If your budget's $1,000, it's less than 1%. So going by percentages is very deceptive,
Well, it's relative.
and it's relative.
It's relative to the original tax, and I think
Correct.
that's what we were talking about, Jackie was talking about, is that we have such a low tax.
Correct.
That even a very small or modest increase is going to
Percentage.
reflect, percentage-wise, is a large increase.
Yeah. So, with Mrs. Maggart's concern, and you will stop in and ask me, I'll show you, one of the big things we did this year is we moved the library from the B fund to the A fund. That means actually that part of that tax will go down for you, because the village was not included in that tax before, now it's going to be. So,
And that is required by law, that it
Yeah.
be in the A fund, and we've had it in the B fund for years
yeah.
with no
So-
justification.
But to answer your specific questions, you can come in tomorrow morning, I'll be here by 10 o'clock, so.
Well, I've gone through the budget.
Don't come in if you're sick, though.
But I've gone through the budget very carefully, and I don't see too many places where you could cut.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah,
I really don't.
Right.
well,
The only thing I can suggest is for the ice rink, charge the kids for going on it.
well, we do
They
charge
do.
them for
Oh,
that.
okay.
The ice rink does not come out of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the other thing too is, it's the water project is the big number
Yes,
on
it
the,
is.
on the budget. I believe, what was the figure of the tax, without special district tax, the budget would have gone down, I believe, $170,000? Is that correct?
$147,000.
$147,000.
And
The
the
tax
general
would have
tax.
decreased this year, $147,000, if it wasn't for the water project.
now what I understood about the water project or the sewer project, wasn't there a large grant that was given?
Not for the water project. The
Okay.
sewer had got a $250,000 grant.
Okay,
And there was some other grant money, I believe, or there's a, previously, but no, not the water project,
okay.
okay?
And the thing is, like with this water project, what people don't realize is, when it was first suggested 10 years ago, it would have been $5 million. But because nobody wanted to increase the taxes or pay for it, now it's $10 million.
And if we don't do it
Is there
now.
going to
it's
be
just-
bonds for that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
3 years ago, when we discovered the letter in the file, that the town was put on notice that the water pressure in certain areas was deficient, we looked at it right away and determined the cost to borrow money was probably as low as it was gonna get. Construction would only go up in the future, so we decided as a board and unanimously down the way to move ahead with it. We had to bite the bullet. You can't keep kicking it down the line. And the fact of life is, when this project is moving along 3/4 way finished, we're gonna have another part of the town that's gonna have to be addressed. You can't allow your infrastructure to deteriorate. You have to invest in it.
Yeah.
well, unfortunately, I think everybody already has let their infrastructure deteriorate. This is facing every town in the country.
Yeah.
So Marty, the other question, the B fund, you were the one who shook, you were shaking your head, so I'll let you answer that since it's kind of a historical
The
question.
B fund never had property tax assessed to it, so I don't know where she's getting her information from. It is strictly funded through sales tax and revenues.
Okay,
Okay, if you go back and look at the previous budgets, there's some figures in the B fund. There's no figure in the B fund in this.
2018 is right here, is part of this budget, and it's nothing. The amount to be raised by taxes is zero in the B fund. So I don't know,
And
What
when we
you're
say
looking at.
taxes, we mean property tax.
property tax.
And Mrs.
Correct.
Lesko, I would offer you to call the office.
Yeah.
I mean,
Call and ask.
and
We'll-
talk.
I'll be in.
Yeah.
And then the other question is it, when you talk about the B fund, see, when I saw that missing, I thought, that's why I asked number 3. When I saw that missing, I thought, well, the village is not going to be paying any taxes, but from what you just said, the village residents will be paying taxes.
Yes, oh, and they've been paying, and they're actually gonna pay
Oh,
more
yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
So, so now let me move on to the public hearing on the 2019 preliminary budget. Would anybody like to speak as far as the 2019 preliminary budget?
Okay, I have a couple.
Go ahead.
Like I said. And actually, it addresses what you just said, Mr. Guyman, about future projects. And you've addressed it several times about a multi-year, 3-year project. Is there any possibility that this is ever going to be in the budget? Because I've got a bulletin here from the state controller on multi-budgets, and he kind of says, he kind of recommends that it be done to offset any problems.
I'm sorry, I just didn't quite follow that. Would you read?
Okay, well, I'll just read I was trying to make it quick, because I know you guys want to get out of here. The state controller has long encouraged local governments to develop and implement a multi-year capital planning project or process. Such a process identifies all capital and major equipment needs, incorporates a process for prioritizing projects, and includes a maintenance cycle to sustain annual capital needs, such as what you're going to address today on highway. Such a project, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Such a process should be, according to the state, part of the annual budget process. And it's not in here.
30 years ago,
Okay,
when we had a sewer project,
Mm-hmm.
that was the plan, to have some money put aside in capital funds.
I know.
Every year. Somewhere along the way, that all disappeared,
that was the dedicated funds.
the dedicated funds. And it is something that to consider. Now, from what I've read in the different communications, when your fund balance gets so high, the best thing to do to it is
Spend it.
put it into infrastructure.
Yeah.
So hopefully this board and the next board and the next board will embrace that theory, instead of allowing it to go to the point where you have to have a $10 million project.
Yeah.
And from what I've read also, what I've been told by the attorneys and the engineer, we will never be in the type of community, we will, luckily probably, that we're gonna get a big chunk of money from Albany to supplement
No.
our deteriorating infrastructure.
No.
It's going to be on the backs of the local residents.
Unless the federal government passes something for infrastructure. But
Now, you know,
stay tuned.
We always go down the list.
Yeah.
Now, you did, I think you asked a question about who's gonna pay for the tax increase. There are
No, you-
certain groups that are tax exempt, and there's nothing we can do about it. Some groups, there's a way of being able to levy the bond issue against them, correct? Am I right? So hopefully we spread this out to as many property owners as we can, so that it's the least severe for any one property owner.
Okay.
Okay,
That's my only question right now.
okay, thank you. Any motion to close the public hearing then?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have one item. David Train, the highway superintendent, asked for us, he has 3 requests for proposals. I would ask for a motion to approve a proposal from Lardon Construction Corporation for $54,648 for removal, or for grinding and hauling wood debris, pending, subject to attorney approval.
Second, and just, are you noting that there are 3 proposals that you?
Yeah, there's the 3 bids, and they will be available, all 3 bids. He just handed these to me
He
tonight.
followed the procurement policy on it.
Yeah. We have a motion, a second. Any questions? All in favor? Yeah. No, go ahead. He just handed them to me right before the meeting. He had someplace else he had to go.
If Dave's doing it, I know it's not happening, I just, my own peace of mind.
the reason we have so much stuff to grind up is that basically the trees that are all ash trees.
All the
that are
ash
in-
trees,
in-
yeah.
And the last storms we've had.
Two storms,
haven't
yeah,
helped us.
Yeah. And I went through a tour with Dave through there, and you can't imagine how much there is. It's mind-boggling.
So we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. That is it?
One more thing.
I do have one thing.
Oh, that's right.
For
I'm sorry.
consideration, I do have one change to the preliminary budget. It will be in the B fund, coming from appropriated fund balance, so taxes will not change. It is to allow the fire department to obtain the BAS software system, which will go along with the building and safety BAS that they are having installed in 2019. It's for a total of $11,000. It's advantageous to have the two of them at the same time. Their systems bounce off of each other, and the trainer will come at one time and train both departments.
So move as eloquently presented by Jackie.
Well, I don't think we have to make any motion, just to,
I just,
Oh,
yeah, besides the change, that'll be the one change.
Voted in next
I'd like to ask a question.
Incorporating in the budget.
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
good.
Steve, I have a question. Jackie, does that include we need two, like iPads?
it does,
It does include
it
those?
does include those.
Excellent.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you have to approve the 2% local law tonight, or?
I think we're gonna do all that on the 15th.
You're not required, you don't have to do it tonight, you could do it, you just have to do it before you pass a budget that's over 2%, you have to pass that local law.
So that's on the agenda for the 15th?
Yes.
Yes.
On the 15th.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So
Can I just bring something to your attention, because he's not here, Dave's not here? Would you tell him, people are putting their leaves out for him to pick up? They're putting it in the street.
Well,
There's
make a
these
phone
big
call.
mounds in the
If you see-
street.
If you see one on the street, call, because we'll definitely address it. I mean,
Well-
Dave gets around to most of the town, but yeah, there was one in the village that put the trees in the street.
I mean, if you're going down like Escarpment Drive, and there's this big, it's dark there anyhow, there's no lights, and you hit it.
Yeah.
That's not a wide street.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.